So let's go over this example word problem. You can follow along as I read it. Mount Logan in the Yukon is 3 and 702 thousandths miles high. Mount McKinley in Alaska is 3 and 848 thousandths miles high. And Pico de Orizaba in Mexico is 3 and 571 thousandths miles high. Order these mountains by height from greatest to least. So all we're talking about here is 3 different mountains, and we're just going to order them from greatest to least. We have Logan, that's 3 and 702 thousandths. McKinley, that's 3 and 848 thousandths. And Pico, that's 3 and 571 thousandths. Now, even though we have 3 numbers here, we're still going to use those same steps that we learned in the last video. So step 1 is line up and stack the decimals. So I wrote the first number and labeled it. That'll be important later. Oh, and by the way, you should be writing too. So pause the video if you need to catch up. Then I'm going to write my next number, lining up the decimal. So I like to put the decimal first, then fill in the other numbers. Now I just need to add my last number, making sure the decimal lines up. Now I'm on to step 2, fill gaps with zeros, but I don't have any gaps. So now I'm going to step 3, compare starting at the left. But the ones place is equal. So I move over and I'm comparing these numbers right here. And as I'm comparing these, I notice that the 8 is greater. So I'm going to circle that 8. And since I'm dealing with more than 2 numbers, I'm going to write a number 1 over here next to it and circle it, saying that this is my number 1 greatest number. This is the number 1 greatest. Now I'm still looking at this 10ths place, but I'm not looking at the 8 anymore. I'm just looking at the 7 and the 5. And I know the 7's bigger. So I'll circle that next. That means that number is going to be my number 2 greatest. So that means this must be the 3rd. Now I'm going to go back and double check about what I was looking for. I'm looking for the greatest first. Well, that was this one right here. That's McKinley. McKinley needs to be first. And here it is first on B. That's correct. Second was Logan. There it is second on B. And third was Pico. And there it is. So B is our answer. So even though we had more than 2 numbers, our rules still worked.